So what are the key financial benefits of investing in a home storage battery?
For savings on the electricity bill, an average bill for the home's around £1,000. Just from using a solar and battery, I'm saving £600 of that bill.
Hello, welcome to Positive Energy, powered by theecoexperts.co.uk. I'm your host, Sam Pamphilon. This is the show where we focus on cutting your energy bills and decarbonising your home. On today's show, our guest is Mark Millar. He is the CEO and co-founder of Puredrive Energy. Mark launched Puredrive Energy in 2016 and is now committed to growing the Duracell Energy brand. He is on a mission to deliver the highest performing home storage batteries to the UK domestic market. Welcome to Positive Energy, Mark.
Thank you, Sam.
How are you?
Good.
Bearing in mind that a lot of our audience, definitely me included, won't know their kilowatt hours from their kilowatt peaks, could you explain to us in sort of simple terms what a storage battery can do for us?
So the way I like to explain it is in quite simple terms. I am going to use kilowatt hours.
Okay.
So an average home, it's a 3-bedroom semi, consumes 10 kilowatt hours of energy. And I like this analogy because it's got easy numbers and I use the same number all the time.
Yeah.
So it's 10 kilowatt hours of energy, but an average home also generates, with solar panels, 10 kilowatt hours of energy. Without a battery, you would absorb about 30% of that. So on average, 30% gets absorbed, 70% goes to the grid. So without the FIT tariff that was around, then you make a saving of 30%, right? Because I'm generating 10 and I need 10. It averages out over winter and summer, of course. If I put a battery on there, then I double that absorption. And if I double the absorption from 30% to 60%, then I save 60% of energy. Of course, now we can operate variable rate tariffs and grid services. We can go into a little bit more, but they generate even more savings.
So this sort of kilowatt hours, is that per day?
So yeah, it is 10 kilowatt hours per day that an average home consumes.
So what are the key financial benefits of investing in a home storage battery?
For savings on the electricity bill,
yeah,
an average bill for the home's around £1,000. It's 27-28p per kilowatt hour times 10 times 365 days of the year. Just from using a solar and battery, I'm saving £600 of that bill.
Oh yeah, because you said 60%, so that's that saving. Is it sort of possible to, is there future efficiencies? Can that go even higher?
Yeah, so mostly the efficiency of both actually solar panels and batteries. Yeah. So for each panel now, 5 years ago they were generating 250 watts per panel, and you get them now at 450, going up to 500 watts. So for the same size panel, you're generating more energy.
How long does a battery typically last?
Operated daily, which is what they're designed for. So they're often quoted batteries as having a 10-year warranty. And a number of cycles. So if it's a 10 kilowatt hour battery, it's a charge and then a discharge. So charge it from maybe solar or the grid and then discharge it by 10. And it might not be one single charge. It might be lots of small charges and discharges throughout the day as long as it accumulates to 10. So the average warranty on cycles is anything between 6,000 and 8,000 cycles. And
what happens to those batteries then at the end of their life?
We use lithium iron phosphate, and that's the most easy to recycle of all the lithium batteries. But before you even get to that stage, they'll have a second-hand life. They'll have about 70% of energy still left in the battery over that period. That can be used for UPSs or second-hand type of applications. And then after that, you can recover the chemicals that are in there and recycle those chemicals as well.
We know that lithium is now, we know that it's kind of finite, or it's certainly harder to obtain. Do you see a change in the types of batteries that are used for home storage batteries going forward?
Yeah, so we were aware of that probably 3 or 4 years ago. And not only the limited supply of lithium, but where it comes from too.
Yeah.
For us, it's almost halfway around the other side of the planet. So about 3 years ago, we made prototypes of a sodium battery. Sodium is the 6th most plentiful element on the planet. There's lots of it. It's cheaper to mine. Lithium's getting more and more expensive to mine as it's harder to get. So we made, and in-house, we designed the BMS, made the BMS, did all the software for that, so we could do everything in-house.
And this is at Puredrive
This is at Puredrive in Cheltenham, yeah.
From a cost perspective and an environmental perspective, that must be incredibly exciting. The thought that that could be the future.
Absolutely. And, the energy density is not too far apart.
Yeah.
Lithium has a higher energy density, but it also, whilst we've been working this for the last 3 years, there are also other advantages to sodium, is that you can charge it quite hard at the bottom and top end of the state of charge, and you can't do that with lithium. You have to soften it. And it also works in colder temperatures.
Presumably at this stage of where we're at the moment with the industry, home storage batteries aren't suitable for every home.
Mm-hmm.
If I sort of lived in a flat, I mean, are there any benefits to me getting a battery?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
So as long as you are paying the bill, okay, and you have a meter inside your flat, then you can use a battery. You can still charge when it's cheaper and discharge when it's expensive.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, and there are lots of savings. You just charge it up with cheap energy, and you might save something like between 50 and 70% of your bill.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's loads more than I was thinking.
Yeah. So this is what we're saying before, the average tariff is standard tariff is about 28p. And you can charge your battery, depending on which energy supply you're using and what tariff, 7p, 10p. Okay. And it's just a case of catching those times and charging your battery at those times.
Would it be a case of, I mean, is it sort of a programmable thing that it would charge at a certain time when it's kind of off peak, or?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Sam. So we've built the software that operates energy suppliers' tariffs. So what normally happens is that the energy supplier will pick one or two batteries to operate with. And then the homeowner, to be part of that tariff, would have to buy that battery. And so what we're saying is that you can be with any energy suppliers and we'll operate that tariff for you, and we do all the software in-house.
So your battery will be charging up when it's cheap and discharging when it's full and expensive.
So we can select any. So you go into our app, okay, and you can select one of 32 at the moment. That will soon be 100 of energy supplier tariffs, and what suits that person. So they don't have to switch. We'll operate that tariff for them. Or they can switch. They can switch to Eon because that's a better tariff, and we'll operate it, the switch media, and we'll operate that tariff.
I mean, for someone like me who's kind of not very technically minded, that would be a dream, because that would be my fear, is that I would forget to charge it at the right time or get it the wrong way round. And the whole premise around the app is to make it very simple for the homeowner and give them choice. We're also connected to a few other apps that talk to you. So I like to come into the home and say, how much battery storage do I have left? And I want that app to say, you have 38% left, which is adequate for your normal Wednesday usage. Yes.
Right? That's really informative. So we're working on that. The whole premise of the app is to add value so they can swap to other energy suppliers, but make it easy for them too.
With EV sales hitting record highs in recent months, how does a home battery work with an EV?
Yeah, so that adds another form of complexity. It's like we're saying it was complex enough, right, if you were trying to manually schedule for cheap rates.
Yeah.
So we automate that. We also do supply an EV charger, and it's all on the same app. So rather than having several devices, okay, you've got it on one single app. And the software that we generate too on that enables them to interact with each other.
Right. What's the kind of cost of it? What's the initial outlay for those batteries before? I mean, if I'm thinking, as the average homeowner who wants to obviously reduce their bills as much as possible, certainly by the amount that you said, what would that initial outlay ballpark kind of be? Or is it home specific? Or, I mean, obviously the amount of batteries you would need is specific.
Yeah. But the cost for 5 kilowatt hours. So I have to be careful with my customers,
right,
because they don't want me giving pricing.
Oh, okay.
To say, why did you say that price?
Yeah.
I think probably you would be able to pick up a battery for less than 2,000.
Oh, okay.
A 5 kilowatt hour battery.
Yeah. And that's kind of in that sort of, I mean, that's probably what you'd pay to have a new boiler fitted, or, all these things that you typically have as necessary things for the home for your energy.
It's around that range, and it probably pays back in about 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah. Now, one of our favourite subjects is heat pumps.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we've noticed is that some people have said that they don't necessarily reduce the energy bill.
Mm.
Can using a heat pump in tandem with a storage battery, can that increase that saving? Do they work well in tandem to sort of help reduce costs?
Yeah, absolutely. what happens to the bill is the carbon footprint. That's the way to look at it initially.
Yeah.
Is why we were doing air source heat pumps in the first place. The home, we were saying before, uses an average of a 3-bedroom semi, 10 kilowatt hours of energy per day. Gas is 30. So it's 30 kilowatt hours. So a domestic footprint is 40 kilowatt hours, 10 electricity, 30 gas. When you put an air source heat pump in, because of the COP ratio of 3:1, you reduce the carbon footprint effectively by a third. But because we use electricity and not gas, gas is a primary source of energy. So it's a third of the cost of electricity, because that's what it costs. We use gas to create electricity.
Yeah.
Okay, or coal or oil or nuclear. So what happens, because it has the COP is 3, which is your carbon footprint, but my cost is 3 times as much. So most homeowners will see no improvement, okay, in cost if they just put an air source heat pump in isolation. However, the demand in electricity has gone up. Okay, so that's where solar panels and batteries come in, because they'll effectively reduce the cost of the total electricity usage. So from a homeowner's perspective, they feel good because I'm greener. Mm-hmm. I've reduced the carbon footprint by half, but also I've reduced my cost as well.
So if I have solar panels, an EV and a heat pump, how do I know what to prioritize charging? And make sure everything is working together so that you're getting the biggest economic benefit out of it? I mean, is this something that I feel like it's something you've thought about?
Yeah, we have. You know, anyway, I'm smiling. Again, just you have to make things easy for people, particularly myself. Okay, I just don't really want to have a look at my app all the time and make changes to it. I just want it to run. Yeah. There are some choices I want to make. And so we have those choices on our app. So you have 4 choices for the EV charger. The first one is to be 100% green. So I'm not going to charge my car unless it's totally green energy coming from the solar panels. The other choice will be, I want to use as much green energy as possible, but I need to get to Wolverhampton today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll use a Restor's grid. The third choice is I want it to be smart. I want to only charge when it's cheap. So for example, those cheap times are usually in the early hours of the morning. And then you could put a time on there as well. So I want to make sure when I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I've got enough charge in there. So they'll charge when it's cheap and most economic. And the other one is called timed boost. So that is, I don't care how I get it. I want it that much in by that time.
It's amazing. So, but I mean, in the future, okay, here's a silly question. Tell me if this is a silly question. Let's say the whole country moves forward and we're getting solar panels and we're getting home storage batteries at the very least. And we're all charging them at 2 o'clock in the morning when the energy's cheap. Won't the energy then become more expensive?
It does do.
Oh, right.
It will do, yeah. So the dynamics will change, won't it? And the reason those prices will change is because of the strain on the grid, right? It's there to actually, motivate people to use.
Prohibitive.
Yeah. So use energy when it's not putting too much stress on the grid. And also, the turbines. So the turbines at the moment, they're having to switch them off in the evening. So they want to use as much of that energy as possible.
In terms of your own home, what changes have you made to make it more energy efficient?
What I did is I installed batteries in there. So it's 10 years ago, created a company called DC World, and all my fixings were DC, so direct DC to DC. Yeah. So as efficient as it can be. So all my lighting were LED lights, were DC, no converter, and the heating were picture frames, mirrors, other panels, underfloor heating. And then I installed a DC microgrid within the house, 20 kilowatt hours. So just distributed around the house. I think it must have been the first in the country, one of the first probably to put a battery inside our house as well, like that. And learnt a lot from that. But yeah, the first thing to do in a home I would recommend is to make sure it's well insulated. And then think about, so the first thing is to reduce the energy consumption. And then look at how you're going to save costs through, say, solar and battery. They're the 2 technologies that are out there that work very well. So right now I've got actually a small array with a battery. I don't pay much electricity.
But you got a discount on those batteries as well, didn't you?
I don't know about that. If the
not as much as you think.
Well, yeah, no. The thing is, right, is that if I did, then everybody else would expect it as well.
No, I see. You got to lead by example,
I pay doubled.
Mark. Yeah. I mean, do you have solar panels as well?
I've got a short array of solar panels at the moment. Yeah, it's an AOB So
What does that mean?
Area outstanding natural beauty. So there's not allowed to have solar panels on the roof.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I managed to sneak some on a kind of shed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a few panels on that and a battery, and it's enough for the energy that I use.
Really?
I tell you, my dad's Scottish.
Yeah.
So I'm very thrifty with
When
respect to...
When you arrived, you were wearing sort of 4 jumpers and 2 hats.
Layers are important.
Yeah.
I think.
So, I mean, you can't do it because of where you live, but what would your next sort of big ticket low carbon item be? Is there something else for you for the home that you would get?
Yeah, so, well, low carbon, obviously solar, that's going to reduce the carbon footprint. But then the next one that is really exciting me is wind turbine, domestic wind turbine. There's not a really good product out there in the market yet.
Where would they go? I mean, would you be allowed one on your roof?
Well, that's why they're not very good, right? You have to have it at a certain height, the current designs, for them to be effective. It's a case of designing that problem out.
Is that something, that, I mean, it's not your wheelhouse, but it's wheelhouse adjacent. Is it something that you would kind of look into working towards?
Oh, yeah. So we're looking at that now.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the next step for generating and carbon-free energy.
Mark, thank you so much for coming in. That was unbelievably interesting. Details in the description for Duracell Energy, Puredrive, and Mark's LinkedIn. Thanks very much.
You're welcome, Sam. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of Positive Energy. For more information on decarbonising your home, go to the ecoexperts.co.uk. See you next time.